Hello, everyone. Welcome to CryptoNite Club. And we are very thrilled to announce that this is our 38 AMA session. So, guys, if you have any questions or comments, please do not hesitate to contact us through our official Twitter or email address. And we would delight to hear from you. So, let's go. And in this session, to explore the latest developments in the world of cryptocurrencies, our team expert is ready to share their insights, tips, tricks with you. So thank you everyone for joining and let's get started. So before we begin our AMA session with Abi Play, the AMA session does not constitute investment advice, financial advice, or trading advice. And let's welcome AMA today with Abi Pay. And we have Mr. Snoop and Mr. Robot here with us. So let's say hello to everyone.
Hey guys, thank you, Charon, for welcoming us today and the whole CryptoNite Club team. We've been looking forward to this. So, myself and Mr. Robot here from the APAY team. Project's close to 2 weeks old now since we've gone live. A lot of updates, and we look forward to sharing those with you in the AMA.
Yeah, Mr. Robot.
Yes, hello. Thank you for having us on. Snoop here will be leading the conversation. He's got all the information to give you guys here, but I'll be here to back him up as well.
Amazing. So, guys, before we begin our AMA, let's have a small introduction about yourself and your project and how you came into involve in RBP.
Sure. So, my background, I've been in crypto as a whole for probably close to 10 years now. And then I've been in DeFi specifically for between 3 and 4 years. Been trading on Arbitrum since Magic was popping off in the ecosystem, like that and Treasure DAO early on, and then just kept sticking around because it's such a good DeFi environment. And with the ARB airdrop, obviously that brought a new whole set of eyes to the ecosystem. Everybody on Twitter, everybody in the space was pretty hyped about it. So in our mind, we wanted to somewhat capitalize on that, help people accumulate a blue chip in the ARB token, and that was kind of how the idea of ARBIPay came about. And we were just looking at doing more than just being just your basic reflections token, because for now, a portion of the tax from ARBIPay purchases and sells goes to yielding ARB that just gets airdropped directly to wallets. We also implemented a jackpot portion, where another portion of the tax on the token is redirected to a jackpot. And it's a random chance. Every buy over zero point 0.1 Ethereum gives you 1% chance to win, up to scaling up to a 10% chance on 1 ETH purchases. And if you win, that jackpot just gets sent directly to your wallet. And currently, that jackpot's worth about 1.2 ETH or so.
That's amazing. So, can you please let us know how is the market conditions right now in whole crypto space, and when have you started this RBP project?
So obviously things have been really picking up in crypto the past couple weeks. Pretty big update in the world of crypto has been that Shanghai unlocking. So a lot of the staked Ethereum people got access to their Ethereum now, and the price went up from there. That, in my mind, was a pretty bullish sign that people who were staking still have a pretty strong belief in cryptocurrency as a whole, because it didn't cause any negative dips in the chart from their now accessible tokens. So that's pretty cool. And then in the Arbitrum ecosystem itself, there was a little bit of an outflow of cash following the ARB airdrop actually taking place, but we're starting to see more inflows back into the ecosystem itself. We're starting to see quite a pump in the Arbitrum coin price as well. So as with most airdrops, I'm sure you guys have seen, there's usually a little bit of a dump of people just immediately selling their rewards and then figuring it out from there. So that kind of happened in this case too, and now we're seeing like the more growth in that aspect.
That's cool. So, how fast is the Arbitrum ecosystem is growing, and do you think there will be more space and more competitors for Arbitrum in the future?
I mean, there's always going to be more competition, right? I think that DeFi is not just going to be a one and done type of reward thing. There's not just going to be people trading on mainnet Ethereum. There's not just going to be people trading on Binance Smart Chain. A lot of people are going to end up being multi-chain and chain agnostic. So there's going to be a lot of winners there. I think as far as layer 2s go, like a layer 2 is when it's added on to Ethereum network basically. For example, Arbitrum or Optimism, they're still EVM compatible chains, but you can trade for lower fees and it's a little bit faster. I think Arbitrum is the best position of any chain right now. It's the most thriving DeFi. It's got the most TVL, most money coming in, things of that nature. So it's still pretty early in the life ecosystem over there.
That's correct. So let's come to RBPay, and I would like to ask about RBPay team and who are behind this to help the project, and who is the core team members.
Yeah, so myself and Mr. Robot are on here today. We handle a lot of the marketing, AMAs, socials, things of that nature. Mr. Robot does some of our graphic work. And then we have 3 devs who are part of our core team as well. Koma is our lead dev. He is not on the call today. And then 2 other devs that are worked closely with him in the past on other crypto projects they've done. And yeah, so there's about 5 of us on the core team here.
So one more question regarding RBPay. So when the RBPay development has been begun, and what plans you have in the beginning of the project, and what are the changes happened during your development?
Sure. So early on, our main thing, we like to really battle test our code. So we launched about 4 or 5 test tokens before actually fully going live, just to make sure everything was safe, nothing was at risk, making sure ourselves and our investors were comfortable before ever launching an actual product. So our main things that we were testing was functionality of that jackpot, making sure the reflections work, making sure the contract was functioning in every possible way, basically. So that was our start. And from there, we have just been deploying regular DApp updates. We have pushed an update today on our site as well. So site is going through an update right this second. And then things like just showing the jackpot balance on the site, showing how much ARB reflections you're earning, just the chart itself on the site, all these different things. And our next update is actually related to our jackpot itself. So other tokens in the past, similar to ours, there's been a couple other types of jackpot tokens in the past. Lotto is a big example of that. All random number generation on chain can kind of be gamed. So we're actually building the first truly random on-chain Arbitrum jackpot. So that'll be deployed in the next couple of days for us as well, actually. And what that means is when you do one of those 0.1 to 1 ETH transactions, it's a random chance to win. Each buy is a singular event. So with that random number generator, if someone was able to like see that on chain without true RNG, like a Chainlink VRF, they could just cancel their transaction ahead of time and game it, and then just keep resubmitting the transaction until they win. So we actually are solving that problem with our on-chain mechanic.
That's amazing. So is there any limitation for a wallet address in winning strategy?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Is there any limitation per wallet in winning
there is
0.18?
there is a limitation. So the max supply one wallet can hold of ARBIPay is 2% of the supply. Reason we implemented that is because we don't want any whales to really control the protocol, really make it accessible to all people. So the goal there was to just try and keep a couple people from dominating our protocol. So 2% max wallet. Obviously, people could try on other wallets, but we don't think that's going to be a real impediment to our process at all.
Okay, that's amazing. So what plans you have for AbiPay in the future, and what can users expect from AbiPay?
Yeah, outside of the jackpot feature and the continued ARB reflections, like the yield bearing reflections that we have, we actually are developing an in-suite arcade completely payable with ARBAPay. So you could think games like Flipcoin, think games like Crash Game, things like that, where you put up you put up some ARBAPay to play, and if you win, you get that doubled back, or if you lose, it just goes to the house, for example. So it's just like an in-suite arcade to play a bunch of different games coming out on the platform. And then a secondary update outside of that is we're doing an NFT mint, doing a super small supply of NFTs, each one a one-of-one printer design. And how those are going to actually work is they will give you an increased chance to win the jackpot on future purchases. So let's say you hold this NFT and you do a 0.1 ETH buy. Instead of a 1% chance, you might get a 1.5% chance. And that's just hard coded. It'll be completely verifiable on chain with the NFTs.
That's amazing. So the users had more chance of winning the ETH, right?
Exactly. Yep, that's the point. So
So
it's a cool way
what
to just
is
add a little more gamifying to it. Sorry, go ahead, Sharon.
what if a user holds 10 RBPay NFTs?
So we're not going to let it stack like that because it'll really break the game almost. So we're going to really incentivize holding one with maybe ideas to do burdens of NFTs in the future to like combine odds. But for now, I need to do a little more math on that because think about if you held 10 NFTs and it doubled the chances every time, it would just make it the jackpot go to zero immediately. So we're just trying to make it a little more fun, a way to gamify it. You can think about it like this. Let's say the jackpot gets up to 2 ETH or 5 ETH, like no one has randomly won it in a little bit. Someone will be like, oh, I need to go snag an NFT on the secondary so I can start making these buys. So that'll drive some volume to the secondary NFTs for the holders of those themselves. And then it'll also like incentivize people to just play the game a little more, trying to make it as fun as we can for everybody.
That's right. Yeah. So what is the tokenomics of RBPay and how it is distributed?
So it's 1 billion coins. So it's distributed via purchasing on SushiSwap or Firebird. The initial liquidity and initial market cap was 75K market cap with 30K liquidity. Now we're sitting about just under 200K market cap, and our liquidity has grown quite a bit. It's just around 100K now. So with the initial liquidity is about 40% of the token supply, and yeah, the coin is continuing to do what we want it. No trouble from a code sense, and we have our liquidity locked for 90 days, which we plan to extend closer to the end of that duration.
It's amazing, and thank you for a very great introduction. So we have a few more questions on Twitter, and some are waiting on YouTube as well, I think, the users. And so we have finished our first part. Let's move on to the second part with a section. We have a
Sure.
few pre-selected questions. So are you ready for that?
Yeah, let's just start from the top. Let's go ahead.
That's amazing. So first question comes from Hidi. So he asked, can you describe the Arbitrum Pay revenue model? What techniques do you employ to generate income? What are your immediate objectives? A lot of projects only have their long-term vision and aim in mind. What are you currently focusing on?
Thanks for the question, Heidi. So with Arbitrum Pay revenue model, like I might have referenced a little bit earlier in the call, it's a 10/10 tax token. So what that really means is 4 of that goes to pay the holders those Arbitrum rewards. Every time a buy or sell happens, you'll start to get airdropped those Arbitrum tokens to your wallet, which everybody loves. I think most people in DeFi are pretty bullish on that token. It's a pretty blue chip coin right now. And then as far as other than that, 2% goes to the jackpot. 2% immediately is added to liquidity every time, which reduces the price impact of buy or sells. It kind of just makes the protocol a little bit more sustainable. Most of what we did here was trying to find synergies between both the jackpot and the reflections tokens to make the whole token more sustainable for the long term. And as far as our immediate objectives go, I mentioned to Charon the on-chain random that we were talking about. That's going to be our next big update here within the next couple days. That's what we're working on immediately. And then following that in the next week or two, as we continue to test our games, we're going to be start deploying those live arcade games live on our DApp. And then our NFTs are still in the works as well. So you think about in the next 1 to 2 weeks here, we're going to have the on-chain random, our continued DApp updates with the arcade games, and then the NFTs as well.
It's amazing. Thank you for answering Hidi's question. So let's move on to the second question from It's from Dinujay, and he asked, "We are interested in hearing more about your roadmap. What is coming up in the short term that is important for community to know about?"
Yeah, I would say the biggest things, like we were referencing, is going to be that on-chain randomness, the DApp upgrades with the games and the NFTs. Yeah, I would say with our roadmap, looking into like further along, like the next quarter, we're going to be adding on-chain governance. So holders of APAY will be able to help direct how we start to spend our marketing budgets, how we use the last 2% of tax, which is how, for example, we pay out the rewards in today's AMA. And that's just like ongoing efforts to continue to market our token, continue to seek partnerships, and just we really appreciate ideas from our community. So we try to make that as easy as possible for them to be involved in that process.
It's really great. Taking feedback from community is a very good. That will be a very good improvement in the project in future. Yeah. So let's move on to the third question. It's from Vidu, and he or she asks, "Do you have competitors? If there is no, you will definitely get competitors in near future. So how do you special from them? What is the unique fact your project has uh, competitors can't copy?"
Yeah, thanks for the question, Vidhu. So we do have competitors. I would say in crypto, everyone's a competitor for each other. I referenced that Lotto and that Fortune Cookie project earlier. Those are like other examples of competitor just jackpot tokens. There's competitor reflection tokens for Arbitrum as well out there, like Hamachi is an example. Um, we're pretty unique from both in that we combine two different mechanics in the jackpot and the reflections in ARB. We're the first token I've ever heard of that has anything like that, and I've been in DeFi for a long time. And then we're also the first that are actually deploying fully on-chain random for our jackpot. Because like I mentioned earlier in the call, it's pretty easy to game randomness on chain without Chainlink VRF, which is not native to Arbitrum. So we're actually building out our own. And it's going to be fully verifiable on chain, whereas those other tokens, you just kind of have to trust what's in the black box in the background. And it's like that for us now too, but it's pretty verifiable that ours is going to be not cheatable. So pretty big
Thanks.
selling point.
Yeah. So where can some buy RBPay tokens and where it is available right now?
So if you have a MetaMask or another EVM compatible wallet set up, then as long as you're on the Arbitrum network, you could either do it on the Firebird DEX aggregator or on SushiSwap itself.
That's cool. Is there any minimum purchase some user need to hold some number of tokens of RBPay in order to be eligible for rewards?
No, rewards, it doesn't matter how much you hold. As long as you hold it, you'll be continued to be eligible for the Arbitrum as the volume continues. To be eligible for the jackpot, you do need a 0.1 ETH buy at minimum, and that gives you a 1% chance to win. And like I said, it scales up to 10% chance on 1 ETH buys.
That's cool. So let's move on to the fourth question. We have it from Hridoy, and he asked, "DeFi, NFT, staking, and burning popular nowadays. So what steps have been taken to advance RBPay? Does RBPay have any killer DeFi features like NFT, stake, tokens, or yield farming? Can you please explain to the community?"
Yeah, sure. So just to start, it's by the token itself is by nature yield farming Arbitrum. You just hold it and you continue to earn that Arbitrum yield just by having it in your wallet. It's airdropped directly to you. You don't need to stake it, which is nice because it's just hold and earn. A lot of tokens you'll have to like interact with the DApp and do additional steps. We wanted to simplify it as much as possible. So it's just hold and earn the token. So as far as NFTs go, we're actually going to make them mintable with APAY. And like we said earlier, the jackpot odds are affected by the NFTs. You'll be able to boost your odds of new purchases to win that Ethereum jackpot. And since the jackpot is paid out in ETH, it's like a pretty blue chip coin as well. And the NFTs are going to be minted with the APAY token, which we plan to burn. So we're going to keep adding deflationary elements to it.
So how and when these jackpots will be drawn?
It's random. So every time someone makes a buy of 0.1 to that 1 ETH window, if they hit the jackpot, like it's a random number generation. So if they come within the range of the RNG, they automatically win the jackpot and it goes straight to their wallet. So each buy is a singular event, and it's not influenced by previous buys or anything like that. So every time you buy, you have a chance to win it, and it's just random if you do or not.
Thank you for explaining in clear and detail. So let's move on to the fifth question from Twitter section. So we have it from Friends Day, and he asked, like, crypto people say the next boom will on NFT after DeFi. So do you agree with this? And what are the plans of APAY to build on NFT? Any future idea about NFTs?
Yeah, I have some agreement with that. I think both NFTs and DeFi are here to stay. And I think the biggest marriage is going to be the marriage of NFTs and DeFi, which is kind of what we're doing with our NFTs to boost the jackpot, provide some utility to them, as well as our entire collection is going to all be one of one art pieces. We're not going to be doing generative art at all. So they're going to be able to have the artistic side for the collectors and the use case for the DeFi heads.
That's amazing, and thank you for explaining all these questions. And we have finished our first part, Twitter section. So let's move on to the second part, which is from community. So we will be opening the chat soon. Please prepare your questions, everyone. So our guests will be picking up 5 best questions on YouTube live chat. So please start the countdown.
Great. Yeah, let's pick some questions.
That's amazing, guys. Thank you for asking your questions. Snoop, the stage is yours. You can pick any of the five questions, and we so many questions, and it's up to you.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm
Yeah,
just gonna
sounds good. I'm
start
just gonna start.
right at the top here. So the first one, and thank you everyone for your questions, comes from Sufyan Salam. And it asks about as the number of holders grow, the percentage of rewards earned per user will decrease. So how will we compensate it? So it actually has less to do with the number of holders and it has more to do with the percent of the supply that you hold. So let's say you own 0.5% of the supply, like 0.5%, then you will always own that number of tokens, right? So you'll always get 0.5% of all of the reflections to your wallet. So it doesn't really matter if more people continue to buy the token, that actually just drives your reflections. So you'll always just have the same percentage base of that.
That's amazing. First question from Sufyan, and it's good. And thank you for answering his question. And please select second question.
Sure. And then the second one comes from MD Scythe, and it says, until when can we expect the NFT mints, the jackpot system, and the on-chain APAY governance? So kind of goes back to the earlier part of the interview, but the jackpot system has been live from the get-go. Like I said, every time you do the 0.1 ETH to the 1 ETH purchases, you get that 1% to 10% chance to win the jackpot. Yeah, the NFT mints you can expect sometime within the next 2 weeks, and then the APAY governance is going to come next quarter once we have more of the arcade games developed, which are coming out in about 2 weeks as well.
That's amazing. Thank you for answering. So let's move on to the third question.
Yeah, so the third one we've selected was from Denath, and Denath asked if, hi, can you explain if you developed any section for gamers for ARPA holders? And he's someone who likes to play games in the industry, and so yeah, that goes to the arcade that I just talked about. Well, we have in several different like arcade lottery-esque games for people to pay straight playable with ARPA tokens themselves, the APAY tokens, and a portion of that will go straight into the rewards pool for other people playing the games, and a portion that's going to be burned. So, trying to add as many deflationary, sustainable mechanics as we can. Thanks for the question today. And so, our next question also comes from someone by the name of The Wish88. And he's asking just about contests like meme, thread, and buy with APAY rewards. So we have done some ongoing like different like threader campaigns on Twitter, meme contests, and like plan to do buy contests as well. And we don't plan to stop anything like that. Just as many organic marketing efforts as possible. We're going to continue to go ahead with those. And then we're looking at the last question of the day here, and it came from Lilith KB, and it asks just how do we know the jackpot works. Basically, is there proof that all the chances are there to win if they buy? And yeah, that goes to the conversation about on-chain random that we talked about. Like most jackpots are not on-chain because it can be gamed. So we're putting ours on-chain so it can just be verifiable via the contract at any time that the buy was successful or the buy failed. So it's just based on a random number generator and it can't be gamed right now the way we have it set up. And we're just planning to make it and keep it as transparent as we possibly can.
Thank you for answering all those questions. It's really great. Can you please let our community people know where RBPay can, I mean, like, what are the socials RBPay is on?
Yeah, so we're mainly on Twitter. Discord is our like most vibrant community, and then Telegram as well. So we're on all of those different platforms, and then we're pretty active on all of them. So you can come ask us questions at any time, and we're here to help.
That's amazing. It's good to chat with you guys today. And you have explained in very detail to our committee members. So before we end up our AMA, would you like to say anything about ABPay and future plans or any upcoming campaigns?
Yeah, Chair, thank you guys so much for the time. I know we went through a lot today. So like I said, if anyone has questions, please feel free to come ask. But we're just getting started. We have a whole in-suite arcade games being built, and I think that the future of APAY is looking really good.
That's amazing. We are really honored to have you today here. And thank you. And please do not forget to join APAY socials. We will be posting in our Telegram and all of the socials. And if you have any questions, please reach out to their committee managers and ask more about APAY. And thank you each and everyone for joining us today, and hope to see you again in next day. Bye-bye.